2. 1, 2, 3, 4. We gather here to come together to raise our voices in harmony. We gather here to pray together to create the world we know is meant to be. We gather here, we gather here, we gather here, we gather here to create the world we know is meant to be. We gather here to come together to celebrate the love and joy of unity. We gather here for deep connection with fellow travelers who claim divinity. We gather here to count our blessings, to celebrate the love and joy of unity. We gather here, we gather here, we gather here, we gather here to create the world we know is meant to be. We gather here to come together to celebrate the love and joy of unity. To celebrate the love and joy of unity.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Stuart's 10:30 Sunday celebration service. We are glad you are here. I am the Reverend Jude Denning, and welcome to all who are watching on Facebook and YouTube when this goes live, and welcome to all who are watching this at any other time in your life. Welcome. We're glad you are here. We are a welcoming, affirming, positive path of spirituality. Thank you for being the church. So, as you watch this, I am on a 5-week sabbatical and am away from the church for the month of May, this month. And I'll be back on the platform on June 6th, which is the day that will open for in-person services. And we'll be doing that as we did it last year, September, October, or something like that, where we're doing social distancing and having masks on. There will be a registration that is probably live when you see this. So if you'd like to register for the June 6th service, you can go on our website and find that link, or look in our newsletter, or you can call the office and talk to May. So we invite you to be here in person on June 6th. While I'm away, please remember that you can email our prayer chaplains for any prayer intention that you might have, and you can email that to prayer@unityofstuart.org. You can also call Silent Unity's 24-hour prayer line to pray with a prayer associate at Unity Village. That number is 816-969-2000 to pray with a prayer associate. I also have asked the Reverend Beth Head to be on call for any pastoral care needs. And this is the number for our church, for Unity of Stuart, 772-286-3878. If you need any pastoral care, please call the office and they will give you Reverend Beth's number. So in the month of May, I have invited 5 of my colleagues to share a meditation and a lesson with you, and that is the Reverend Juan Del Hierro, and he will be, as in this month, as have been happening, he will be sharing the 5th basic unity principle with you, and that is, we can't just learn about these things, we have to put them into action in our world, in a nutshell. That's the 5th basic unity principle. So there's Juan, and he has been here a couple of times as a guest speaker, and he has served the worldwide unity movement in a variety of capacities. He is currently on the board of directors of Unity World Headquarters, which includes Silent Unity and the Daily Word. He has led Silent Unity Prayer Retreat, has been the keynote for many worldwide unity events, and he is also the treasurer of our Gold Coast Unity subregion. Oh, he also is the associate minister at Unity on the Bay. And if you've met Juan, you know what a treasure he is. So please join me in dedicating today's service to taking action. Our affirmation today is, I am a powerful creator. When I feel an urge to create something new, I call upon the divine ideas that enable me to shape my life in positive, healthy ways. I draw upon thoughts of vitality and feelings of vibrancy when formulating my health and fitness goals. I call upon thoughts of love and feelings of connection when I want to create deeper relationships. I recognize that I can positively influence conditions in my community and in the world when I use the imaginative power of my mind to help bring into manifestation a world of fairness, opportunity, peace, and joy for all. Through my creative thoughts, words, and actions, I give shape to my life and impact the world around me in positive ways. I am a powerful creator. So I invite you to join me in prayer for a moment as we settle into this service, as we settle into being in this sacred space together, open, receptive, and responsive to what Spirit would have us do today. And now I invite you to affirm our affirmation with me together. I am a powerful creator. And as we do, I invite you to take a deep breath, anchoring this affirmation in as we affirm one more time together. I am a powerful creator. And so it is. Amen.
Be still, be quiet, it's the only way. You will hear the voice of God, it's the only way. Be at peace, love one another, there is no other way. You will feel the presence of the one, it's the only way. It's the only way.
And so I invite you now to take a deep, gentle breath. And if you haven't done so already, gently close your eyes and relax. Allow yourself to settle into this moment and to settle into this experience. The very presence of God is here and now. The presence of God is moving through and as you, through and as this experience. And so this is a holy moment, a sacred opportunity to rest in the awareness that God is. And so take another deep breath. And go further within. And continue to be aware of this inner journey into the sanctuary of your being, that space within you where you know that you know that you and God are one. And so if something within you was longing to experience a greater sense of love, know that love is here. For love flows through you, is you. If something within you is seeking a greater sense of peace, know that peace is within you. It is your birthright. It is your natural state of being, and so we call forth the peace that you are. All that God is expresses in you and through you. Abundance, prosperity, health, and wholeness. Let's take another deep breath. As we breathe in, we continue to remember that we are breathing in a deeper awareness of our truth. And as we exhale, it reminds us that we have a sacred opportunity to release and let go. And so I invite you now to release and let go of any thoughts or feelings that are keeping you from fully knowing your sacred truth. We release any old patterns or old ways of being that no longer serve us. For in this moment, we open our hearts, we open our minds to more fully living our truth, to more fully embodying our principles. You are the embodiment of good. You are the expression of the divine. You are Christ consciousness. And so let us take a few moments in the silence to be with this knowing and to allow this knowing to move through and as us, inspiring us into action. Take a breath. We become more centered and still. In this moment, you are seen. In this moment, you are witnessed and felt as the expression of love and light. And so feel the gratitude from all of humanity, the gratitude from the universe for the ways in which you are expressing your good. And so join me in stepping into your own sense of gratitude for this moment, for the clarity of this experience, and for the ways in which here and now we know that you are blessed and you are a blessing. So it is, as we let it be. Amen and amen.
Okay, you ready?
All right, yep.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Stop building walls, start building bridges. I can see you scared, closing off your heart. You would never dare to leave your fortress, but to live in fear is to live apart, and we'll never heal through all the distance. Oh, this can all be fixed. Oh, brick by brick. If we stop building walls, start building bridges. If we look in our souls, there's no division. Oh, we can work it out. Lay your armor down and listen. Stop building walls, start building bridges. Let's all take a breath, try to understand. Can we all accept another perspective? We live different lives and grow different minds. When we see eye to eye, we learn a lesson. Oh, this can all be fixed. Ooh, brick by brick. If we stop building walls, start building bridges. If we look
It is so great to be with you, Unity of Stuart. It's been a while, and I'm really grateful that you've allowed me to be with you and to just connect with you. So thank you to Reverend Jude and to all of you. So I come bearing gifts, not just what I want to share with you about the fifth unity principle, but I have a joke for you. And so here goes nothing. God greets Mother Teresa at the pearly gates, and at the pearly gates, all of a sudden, just God says, "Are thou hungry? Are you hungry, Mother Teresa?" And so she says, "Well, very humbly and meekly, well, I could eat." And so God goes over and opens a can of tuna and brings out some crackers, and they share that meal. Now, Mother Teresa is grateful, but she looks down at hell and sees that they're having steaks and lobsters and shrimps and pastries and a whole party having wine. She's a little puzzled, but she keeps quiet. The next day, God invites Mother Teresa for another meal. And once again, it's tuna and crackers. She looks down again, and this time they're having caviar, champagne, truffles, and chocolates, but she says nothing. The next day, mealtime arrives and another can of tuna is opened. Now, by this time, Mother Teresa really just can't contain herself any longer, and she very meekly and humbly asks, "God, I am so grateful to be here in heaven with you as a reward for the pious, obedient life that I led. But here in heaven, we get tuna and crackers, and at the other place, they're eating like kings and queens. Forgive me, God, but I just don't understand." And so God sighs, says, "Well, let's be honest, Mother Teresa. For just the two of us up here, does it really pay to cook?" All right, well, see, in unity, we don't necessarily hold this idea of living a pious, obedient life to be rewarded in the afterlife, right? It's not about where we are going in the afterlife, if we're good enough to get there. We really believe and focus our energy and attention on recognizing that we can be living heaven here on earth, as heaven is really a state of mind. And so it isn't about living to get to heaven, it's about living from the space, from the place of heaven. So how do we anchor heaven on earth? How do we get to experience life as heaven? Well, I know I'm a little bit partial, but I believe it's really about living our 5 unity principles. And especially this morning, I want to share with you about the 5th unity principle, this idea of us being able to express God, to live our unity principles more fully. And so the 5th principle says, knowing and understanding the laws of life, also called truth, is not enough. A person must also live the truth that he or she knows. Now, I think that's true about most knowledge. Awareness is only as important to the degree that we will use it. Knowledge is only as important as the degree that we will be able to use it in our lives. I see it as this, for example, for me, I have the knowledge of what healthy eating habits are, right? I know the ways in which I could be living a healthier lifestyle. The question is, I have the knowledge, but am I willing to use it? Am I willing to live into it so that I can have a healthier way of being? Now, I have to tell you, healthy eating habits, it's a work in progress for me. But the reality is that I believe for all of us, living the unity principles is a work in progress. One of the things that I recognize is that, sometimes we ask ourselves, how do I know whether I'm living from a place of heaven or from a place of hell. Sometimes, we can really be aware of it. It's easy to be aware of. Sometimes not so much. And for me, it's really about being as conscious as possible and being open as possible in the experiences that we are moving through, challenges and blessings that we are moving through, with an open mind and an awareness, and being able to take a step back and asking, does this feel good? Do I feel empowered out of this? Do I feel open and expansive, connected? That to me is what heaven feels like. I bet you've had some of those experiences yourself. Hell, and I'm sure we've all experienced this, we tend to close up, crouch down. There's a feeling of worry, of fear, of guilt, or shame. And so which one of those two do we want to live more fully into? Which ones of those two do we want to make our spiritual home? Reverend Ellen Davenport, in her book, The Five Principles, shares that in order for us to live into heaven, we can ask ourselves questions about how we're living our unity principles. And she calls this, the unity principles almost like a handy checklist. Whenever we are moving through any experience, can we bring out our little checklist and make sure that we are living through the experience, through the challenge, through the opportunity, based on our awareness and our desire to live more fully our principles. And so just to give you a recap, the first item on your checklist is principle number 1, that God is all, God is always present. And so the question is, in every situation, especially in situations that are difficult, can I affirm the divine intelligence and love within the situation? Do I trust and have faith that the very activity of God is there, even though I may not see it? It's living that Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1 message that says, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Even when we can't see or feel God in a situation, can we be open to recognizing that God is there? Second part of our checklist is principle number 2, that you are the expression of God, that we are the expression of God. And so the question to ask ourselves in any situation is, do I remember my own divinity in this moment? Do I remember the divinity of the others involved in the situation? Do I remember myself as sacred and the others as sacred also? It's also about building up our emotional intelligence, that capacity of ours to be aware of and express our emotions, be in control of that, and be able to live into the interpersonal relationships with empathy, with compassion. There's so much going on in our world right now. Can we stand in our truth, regardless of whether we are disagreeing, knowing that we are all sacred? Even in the huge conversations and huge issues that are going on, when we disagree, when there is shifts that are needed, can we do so from the place of knowing our full worth and the worth of all those that we are in those relationships with? The third unity principle is about co-creating with God. Asking ourselves, can I take responsibility for this experience? Can I take responsibility for the ways in which I'm going to live through this experience, and that how I use my thoughts and feelings in this moment will determine the outcome of this situation? To really take responsibility of our actions, to take responsibility for the energetic shift that is going to occur. Can we do this as we also allow ourselves to check off principle number 4? And that is the understanding that we can be in a closer walk with God, that we can be more aware of our communion with the divine. And so in challenging situations, in difficult situations that we may be experiencing, and if you're like me, there's a lot of opportunities to live out our principles happening in our world right now. But to ask ourselves, have I aligned myself with God, the universe, the good? Have I received guidance before I act in this situation? Have I taken a step back in prayer, in meditation? maybe it's as simple as just taking a breath, right? Like just taking a breath to take a moment and call forth an awareness that God is present, that God is here. Now, if we haven't taken that breath, if we haven't taken prayer and meditation, will it work out? Maybe. Will it work out to my highest good? Maybe. But I know that the more that I step into guidance, the more I will live the highest possibility of that experience. Now, Myrtle Fillmore shares with us that really prayer is preparatory work, and that prayer needs actions based on what guidance we received. When we have all those things, when we're able to check off the list and know that we are open to living those 4 unity principles, then we move into the 5th one, which is just do it, act. Now, a lesson for us all is to recognize that this is all about taking care of our own backyard. It's not about somebody else's backyard. It's about the ways in which we want to experience life and the things that we have to do in order to live heaven on earth. Reverend Ellen Davenport actually says, living the truth will take as many forms as there are people on earth. Some will look very busy taking action and some won't. What truly matters is what's going on in their hearts and minds, and you can never tell by looking. So we can't judge others based on their actions or inactions. I cannot say that you have taken no action. What I do know is that in my life, when I am not taking action, when I'm in inaction, it leads to stagnation, right? Like in a river or a pond. Whenever there is inaction, when there is no movement, all of a sudden there is stagnation. And we really do need to shift and move that energy around. Letting life happen to us will feel stagnant at some point. While a life lived from the 5 unity principles is giving life to our experiences, divine life to our experiences. I love that Neil Donald Walsh quote that says, "A life lived of choice is a life of conscious action. A life lived of chance is a life of unconscious creation." I want to have a life lived of choice and conscious action. And that's where real service comes from. This is where true service really stems from. Life is service to humanity. When we live the 5th unity principles, we are really being of sacred service to the human family. To live life from our principles is to be of service and to be in love. To act from that sense of love, to be in love with yourself, right? We recognize that we are sacred, in love with God, with all those around you. That's true life. That is acting from that place within us that is guided, that feels and comes from the place of heaven. So do our actions express love, or do they celebrate love? Do they make you fall more madly in love with yourself and with life? We're at a critical place in the history of mankind, in our conscious evolution, where we can no longer act out of fear. Acting from any other place than love is a part of life, but it's a part of life that we have to really grow through, and evolve from. We have to wake up, we have to grow up, we have to clean up our act, and we have to show up in our divinity. That's something that Ken Wilber says, wake up, grow up, clean up, and show up. And we can only do that, for me, by more fully living our unity principles. And the world is asking for it. Truly, the world is begging us to take responsibility for the awakening of the human family. We are the ones to do it. We are the ones with the knowledge, right? And so now it is about putting that knowledge into action. We can help each other become more awake. We can be the catalyst that helps each other evolve. As we evolve, we create the space for others to shift also. We can be the catalyst that says, let's move into action and let's make this world the world it has the potential to be. Now is our opportunity to minister. To minister to ourselves, to minister to others, to minister to humanity, to embody sacred service. I want to share with you some excerpts from Everyone a Minister by Unity Poet Laureate James Dillard Freeman. What does it mean to be a minister? He says, it means to make yourself humble so that others may feel large. It means to make yourself a servant so that others may feel their mastery. It means to give so that those who lack may receive. It means to love so that those who feel unloved may have someone who never rejects them, someone with whom they can always identify themselves. It means to hold out your help to those who ask and deserve help, and also to those who do not ask or deserve it. It means to keep a cheerful outlook so that those who are easily cast down may have someone to lift them up. It means to keep faith and to keep on keeping faith even when you find yourself little reason for believing, so that those who have no faith can find the courage to live. It means not merely to live a life of prayer, but to turn your prayers into life, more life for you, more life for those to whom you minister. It means to be God-centered and human-hearted, to involve yourself in humanity and to keep your vision on divinity, and so draw forth in all around you the human form divine. This is what it means to be a minister of God and a minister to man. You know, God, Jesus himself invited us and said to us, whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. And that is how you live out Unity of Stuart's mission, to transform lives through love, prayer, and service. And this is how you live the 5 unity principles as we recognize and hold the vision of anchoring heaven here on earth. You are that blessing. Let us begin to more fully live as the blessing we always are meant to be. Thank you and namaste.
And I invite you to join me in our celebration of abundance and thanksgiving. And there is where you can bless Unity of Stuart with your financial gifts to further the work that we do here. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your continued love offering, tithes, and gifts. Thank you to our consistent givers and everyone who's stretching and expanding their giving during this time. You are the reason why we can come to you every week on Facebook and YouTube and open up again on June 6th. So I invite you to join me in our prosperity prayer and love offering blessing. Together, in a universe overflowing with the allness of God, all of the needs of Unity of Stuart and those we serve are instantly, constantly, and bountifully met. From every direction known and unknown, expected and unexpected, our abundant good comes to us now. We are grateful. Amen. And please join me in our love offering blessing. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give and receive always in love. And now please join us in blessing our youth and family ministry.
We love you. We bless you. We truly, truly appreciate you. We
let's close with a prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds me. I am light. The love of God enfolds me. I am love. The power of God protects me. I am power. The presence of God watches over me. I am presence. Wherever I am, God is. I am divine.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Have a beautiful week, everybody. Namaste.